Hello, everybody. How are you? I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. And it's on time. Shocking, isn't it? First of all, hello, sis. How are you? And second of all, Khadijah. I am super excited to see both of you. I really, really am. So let me get started with hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Mama Cougar, aka Kitty Lane, that baby boomer from the peninsula in Virginia. And we are here in the den of create and relate. I was hoping I was going to get through all of that without bumbling, but I did it anyway. so, how is everyone today? I hope StreamYard is good to us today because we have quite much to discuss. I have like 3 pages, and I didn't write big. So we are solidified with the all aboard, the A. And now for the B, the breakfast. What did I have for breakfast this morning? I had Vienna sausages and crackers. And it might not have been the healthiest breakfast, but it was delish and it did what it was supposed to do. So yes, I had a good breakfast. Let me pull me back up on the screen here so I can see what's going on. I hope that you all can hear me. Can you all hear me okay? I hope so. I really, 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 really hope so. Is anyone here but me? Okay, we have one more arrival. As you come in or sometime during the broadcast or when you get ready to leave, please don't forget to leave that sunny. I appreciate it. Hey sis, how you doing? Let me tell you about this crazy phone thing. I don't know. You called, you have an option. The green says decline, and it's on the left side of the screen. And the right says answer. And it's green and it's on the right side of the screen. Baby! And I hit the green one and the call disconnected. So I called you right back. And then I forgot I had the Bluetooth hooked up. So then I had to pull the screen down and disconnect the Bluetooth. And then I went and called you through me and I didn't get an answer either way. Such is life. Okay, so we've done our all aboard. You know about my breakfast, coffee. See, I have not had coffee yet. I'm a little too wired right now for coffee. I've had nothing but water today. Um, maybe because I went to sleep to music last night. I put my headphones on and I was singing until I was probably singing in my sleep. Probably. I tend to do that. Yes, someone have to check on the. Okay. Okay. So once again, we're going to start from the top. Okay. Hello, everybody. I am Mama Cougar, that aka Kitty Lane, that baby boomer from the peninsula in Virginia, and we are here in the den of the Castle Create and Relate. How is everyone on this beautiful Tuesday? How'd I do? No, no coffee yet. Sounds like I need it, doesn't it? I understand. I understand completely, sis. I do. I love y'all. I so love you all. I really do. Okay, so all aboard. Breakfast, Vienna sausages and crackers. No coffee yet, but it will happen. Trust me. D, drink water. I've already had a bottle. I've already had one bottle. I have my second bottle here. And E, we're already down to the first emoji. The emoji that I like today, you can either type the word blush or you can give me the smiley face with the rosy cheeks. I feel kind of chipper today. How y'all like my hair? That was my doctor do yesterday, and I absolutely loved it. And yeah, yeah, I love the doctor do. I like the little twist. I do. I love the twist, and I wish that my hair has thinned out a lot, and that happens with age. So it's not a bad thing, but it's still very thick. It's just thinning in the wrong places, like right up in here. So when I do the whole head and twist, it looks really weird. I have a heart migraine. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. But thank you for the blush. Um, I was worried when my daughter was doing it. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna leave out of here looking like one more kid yet again. But I think she did it good. She did a good job. The CEO did a good job. She did. Okay, the focus for the day. This is the start of who. Okay, so I wanted to tell you all about my doctor's visit yesterday. Everything is clearing up good. I feel better today than I've felt throughout the duration of this. Sorry to hear Lady Bird. Lady Bird been home around 15 minutes about to eat, but I want to. I understand. Well, know that we love you. Thank you. Thank you. I wish I could take all sickness away from everybody. I do. Honestly, I know how horrible it feels. Everything down to pain. I wish that in our younger days we experienced all of that. And then once you reach a certain age, you just don't have to deal with that anymore. You could just live out the rest of your days happy and comfortable. You know, no stress, no pain, no worries, no heartache. I don't know. Wishful thinking, I guess. Okay, so I had a good doctor's visit, all the way down to the fact that I am at a total of 11 pounds down. So I'm excited about that. And I only had to cuss 3 people out before 8 a.m. yesterday. So I did good. One was the transportation company, because they told me they were going to be here at 6:30. At 6:45, I was calling to find out where the driver was, only to be told she was 17 minutes out. Now, my appointment is at 7:20. And then they're going to tell me, well, the way it is, you'll get there by 7:30, and their doors don't open until 7:30. Wait a minute. You're not a patient there. How do you know what time they open their doors? Because they open their doors at 7:15, which is why I try to maintain the 7:20 appointments. First in, first out. So after I got them straight about that, and I realized the lady they sent to pick me up is the one that I asked them to please don't send her to pick me up anymore. The first time I rode with her, she drifts. She can't stay in her lane. Almost had 5 collisions the first time. On top of that, we ended up in downtown of the next city because I don't know what she was doing. Her mind was somewhere. And she wasn't following the GPS. The GPS was telling her where to go. She started trying to blame the GPS. It was not the GPS fault. If I could hear the GPS and see it from the back seat, I don't know what she was doing. But we ended up in downtown Norfolk, and we had to come all the way back to uptown Virginia Beach to get me to the doctor. I was late then, yeah. And then yesterday's trip there was just as eventful. So I told her after the third time she drifted out of the lane, I was like, first of all, when I called this morning, they told me that your van was broken down and you need to get it fixed. And then you told me that you overslept. Well, y'all need to get your life straight before you start talking to the patients, number one. Number two, if you can't keep the van in the lane, then you need to either surrender your license or not drive for this company, because these people sitting back here in this back seat and seeing 18 wheelers coming up on both sides of them, when you're half in that lane and half in this lane, it puts undue stress on them. I know that's what it's doing to me. And when I left home this morning, I intended to go back the same way or better than I left. So can we please get it together? We can't even talk anymore this trip. We can. I wanted her to be mad enough at me that she never wanted to pick me up again. That, sometimes you can ask for things, but you have to figure out creative ways to make it happen, because they just don't get it the first time. And I think a lot of times they look at the fact that you need them, so you just accept whatever you give them. Freak that. I'm sorry. I have children and grandchildren and sisters, and I have you guys. I have all my kittens. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to get out here and suicide by hospitals to home. Really? No, 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 and no some more. So then when I get to the doctor's office, I get checked in and everything. That part went smoothly. And then two nurses came out to get me. The regular nurse and the nurse that always tells me that she wants to check my sugar and I have high blood pressure. Oh, the last two times I told her I don't want to do my blood pressure anymore. So as we're on our way in back, but we're gonna eat. Okay, okay. Good morning, Hunter. Sorry. When you said we, I was like, I got to say good morning. So I stayed where I was. They called me to the back. I stayed where I was, and I looked at both of them. And then I looked at the regular nurse. I was like, which one of you is taking me to the back? She said, I am. I said, okay, because I'm not going with her anymore. I'm not. That's not going to happen. So then she turned around and had something smart to say. She didn't know I was already there. I was already there, and that was all I needed. And I unloaded. And I told her, I said, the pitiful part is you go into this thinking nobody knows anything but you, but you fail to know that I was a nurse. And I know that when you put the blood pressure cuff on me, you do not squeeze it. You find the cuff that's big enough, and chances are you're going to get a higher reading from the lower arm than you are the upper arm. I tell you that every time you do it. And I'm wondering what your fixation is with the numbers 1, 0, and 8, because every time I come, you tell me that my blood pressure is 180 over 108. The last time, I think you remembered, that's what you said before. So then you told me it was 180 over 114. So she said she didn't have time to deal with me. Okay. Got that one solved too. I don't like to be that kitty. I don't. I had to take the tigress with me yesterday. And it's cool, because I think I achieved what I needed to achieve. Because after that, the information that I got about my insurance is that I'm going to have to drop them at the end of this year anyway. Um, a lot of the doctors are asking them to increase their portion of pay to them. And the company that I'm with goes back to the table, the bargaining table, and says to them, how about we give you a 1% decrease of what we already give you? And with that, the secondary insurance says, you know what? We're not even going to mess with you all next year. We're going to let this year ride out. We're not going to deal with you all next year. And I need that secondary insurance to pay the prescription part of my Medicare. So in order to keep that secondary insurance, I got to get rid of the main insurance. And I should have known better because for years, Blue Cross Blue Shield would do really good for a while. And then it just does this thing where it just spasms and does something so off rail. It just, I think the appropriate word for it is stupid. You know, so what that means for me is I have to start my pursuit for surgery all over again. And our CEO is still not being paid for being my care provider. Okay. So now we know all about the doctor's appointment. Yeah, my CEO is so pretty. Thank you, baby. I got you. Oh, that looks good. I got broccoli and potatoes, and it looks like chips. It really looks good. Okay. So then I had my therapy session. Therapy went good yesterday. It really, really did. I got to talk a lot about my crocheting and told her all about the family reunion. And we had to do some reassessments. Y'all forgive me, there is fiber flying all around the room and it keeps hitting me in the face. Of course, I'm inhaling, so it's hitting my nose, and I'm like, I've been crocheting really hard today. I don't know if you see this beauty right over here. This is a placemat called Big Five, and it is currently being tested. But I did one today using a much larger hook because I wanted to see if it would keep its consistency being worked with a larger hook with the same size yarn. And I think it did pretty good. I think it did pretty good. So I know now that I could use, I used the 10 letter N, and it really gives it this beautiful, you see it, you see it. So if I wanted to sit a big dish, I wanted to put this on the table and sit a big dish on it, I could. This is acrylic, so I wouldn't use it for hot foods. It would be basically a decorative piece. But I do know now that I can use, for full weight cotton and get the same result. So I'm good with that. Um, the other focus for today is, y'all, I did not get to the, I'm really ahead of myself because I wanted to, Jennifer, how are you? I really wanted to get to 75% by Saturday. I am right at about 70% of the way done with this panel. The other panel is complete. I have my colors laid out with the exception of the very last one because it's pretty much an entire scheme. It's the Karen 1 pound. And that's the only one that I don't have out. As I finish with the color, if a lot of it is left, I'm currently working with this one. So this one I will wind up and make it a little bitty cake. The brown that I did just before this one, about twice that much left. So I'm going to leave it as a, this is part of another brown that I did. I'm going to cake this up. And after I cake them up, they're going to go in the bag here. The other brown that I used, I'm going to leave it as a flat cake and work it down some more. But I'm anxious to get these done. I know that they can get done today. So that will definitely be on the agenda for today. Okay. Another focus for today. Guys, I did this Sunday. I am super excited about this. This is the Content Creator Planner. And I have all of Create and Relate here. The other is going to go back here. And I want BB to see that I am using my tabs. Michelle! Yes, I am definitely using my tabs. And actually, the inspiration for this was being in the Stitch Circle on Sunday morning and watching Michelle get her weekly plans done. I can't see the names. Oh, that's the okay. So I got this done. I have my loose leaf paper, of course. I've got folders that I am putting the 3-hole punches in so that they will fit as I need them. I do like the pockets in the front here. This is an older book, so I used it because I had it. I'm trying to not spend right now, so this is the route that we are going. Making lunch and okay, gotcha. In looking for a binder, I ran across an old one. I'm gonna get fussed at for this, but it's okay. So I used to go to the boardwalk a lot, and this is during my days of wanting to be a photographer. And my baby was tired. She was tired and she went to sleep. But I think it's just so, she's so cute. She's just so cute. She looks so comfy and relaxed. And then on the other side, so you see, Kitty doesn't change too much. She does not change too much. Me and my little wireframe glasses. My accessories change, but I don't. So the other focus, see, I wrote my itinerary out yesterday because while I was writing it out, I put myself in its place. I'm like right there when I'm doing it. So yesterday when I was writing it out, it was Tuesday. And then when I finished, I realized yesterday was Monday and today is Tuesday. So what I had on the list of things to focus on for today, Tuesday, as being yesterday, was to finish typing out the pattern and to send it out to the testers. Well, I did that yesterday. And to the testers that are here, um, there is another email. I caught something and I sent a correction out. So check that out. It's small, but it can make a big difference. Okay, my other focus points for this week is to create a new pattern, which means I have to design something, which I already have the project in mind. So it's just a matter of putting hook to yarn and creating that. Um, Not even gonna say what it is. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna send it out, and I'm gonna see what comes back from it, and then I'll let you all know. I'm not even gonna have a teaser out like this. Um, the other part of it is to record videos. I worked on a couple of videos yesterday. I'm not happy with how they look, so I did not put them out. Um, so we'll work on it a little more today. I got to get some videos done with the hairstyle, and I got to get some videos done with the dress that says, "If you love me, let me sleep." Sometimes I will actually hang this on my door so the grandkids can see it. And like I said, the other focus was to um, get 75% of this done, but I'm already like 70% of the way there. So getting the other 75% done, that'll be this one, and this one. And I think I have 3 rows of this, 5 rows of this, and 1 row of this. So that won't be a problem. That will not be a problem at all. And if I can manage to squeeze at least one of those in, your girl will be like way on top. And then to organize my daily routine. Sometime before the end of the year, and I'm trying to take it in small doses in my mind. I want it done because I'm anxious to see what it's going to look like, but I am completely restructuring my entire yarn storage areas. Right now, I have 6 areas, and I would like for the yarns that I see. I want to get the unmarked yarns together and color code them. I want to get the ones that are identified together, of course. And it's just that sometimes I look up and I look at the colorways and I'm like, oh my God, that'll be a pretty dress. Oh my God, that will look so nice and stuff. And then I got puzzle yarn over there that's just calling me. Every day I wake up, I look at that puzzle yarn and I'm like, I don't have to tell anybody that I started something, but I'm being good. I'm being good. I'm sticking to the plan. So, of course, that was the letter F. We got through the focus of the day and the week. And now, excited about this one, the G, the guess who. I hope I get some really, really good answers in this one. Okay. This individual is no longer with us. They transitioned in 1984 at the age of 66. That's the first thing I can tell you. A lot of people don't know that, but just keep it in mind. She was a child performer. Sharon, how are you? She was a child performer, world renowned. She traveled all over. She had a snatched waist. That of her that we used to see and see. She has a snatched waist. Not Shirley Temple. And she has, her hair is usually styled in pin curls and finger waves. She's another one of my icons. I so love her. And I'm afraid if I give you her real name, that everybody's going to know who it is. But that's the point, right? Her name is Esther Jones. Does anybody have any idea? Pin curls and finger waves, snatched waist, child performer, world renowned. Vivian, how are you? And she transitioned in 1984 at the age of 66. And her name is Esther Jones. How about if I say baby Esther? Anybody? Baby Esther, but who is it? We don't really know her by Baby Esther. We know her by another name. We know her as a cartoon character. And her cartoon character started out as a poodle. Betty Boop, of course. Nana Michelle, how are you? Welcome in. Welcome in. Oh my goodness, guys, y'all make me so happy. You all do. Yes, that is our guest who person of the day. And those of you who don't know, Tinkerbell is my icon. That is the love, my love. I absolutely love her. The two things that Tinkerbell says are dream big and believe. And from the time I learned that as a child, that's how I try to live my life. I tell anybody, I'm never satisfied. If I complete a task, I'm looking for the next task because I've always understood saying that you're satisfied is saying you're done. So I'm not satisfied. And because my phone is in the other room, I'm screaming. Bless your heart. Yes, Betty Boop. But Betty Boop, I so love Boop Boop Bidoo. Oh, I so love her. Uh, when I first started working at Dollar General, I went into, I don't remember the name of the store, but the whole front of their store, it was, I think it was Marshall's. No, it was TJ Maxx. It was TJ Maxx. The whole front of their store was full of all kinds of Betty Boop stuff. I had nightgown, I had a full pajama set, I had a onesie, I had socks, I had stockings, I had t-shirt, I had Betty Boop everything. I even got me some Betty Boop lipstick. Y'all know your girl doesn't even wear makeup. So we're gonna move on to the letter H, which is the health meter or the healthometer. And today, y'all know that my mental is already like through the roof. I got up and did some additional stretches this morning where I put my legs into more motion than usual. So they're kind of tired, but they feel good. I have a necklace I've worn for 13 years. Yes, that's why I had to get her tattooed. I used to have the earrings because I have two holes. I had two holes in both ears, but I let one close up. So I have two holes in this ear and one hole in this ear. And my secondary hole was my Tinkerbell. I never took her out. And one of my trips to the hospital, I had to have surgery, and they took it out. So yeah, deal with Tinkerbell. Okay, in the news, guys, please be careful. Please be careful. Um, as of yesterday, there was a 31,000 ground beef recall. Stores included were Kroger's, Aldi, Lidl, Whole Food, and HEB. You know that they recalled the eggs at one point, released them, and now it's, I think they said 160 million dozen that they're recalling again. Um, Salmonella. They've got this jalapeno sauce. They said that's at Aldi's. They're recalling. Guys, please stay safe. Please stay safe. All I do is, yeah, Whole Foods. All I do is type in the search box current recalls, and it'll give you The most recent ones, of course, you can go down and go into the Food and Drug Administration and get the whole list. They tend to list. I focus on the foods because I'm pushing away from medications. I so I don't really get into the drug part of it. Excuse me. When I went to my doctor, I told her one of my goals was to get off medication. One thing that I had not told you all is here recently, she has had me weaning off of the happy pill and the fluid pill. And I only take the fluid pill when my feet and legs are swollen. So I've not had a fluid pill now in since before the family reunion. So the only pill that I've been taking is the dicyclamine, and that was for the cyclospora. So, and it's not permanent. So I've been doing really well with that. My blood pressure, I'm keeping it under control, and I feel good, y'all. I do. I really, really do. So, like I said, please keep that in mind. And if you can, I know some of us, we are doing the apartment living. So I was talking to my daughter very recently about starting a garden. I know we can't dig up their dirt, but we have really big totes. We have big totes. And for it just to be the four of us, I'm pretty sure, that there's something that we can grow or we can do. So I'm looking into that. I know it's almost time to well, in the next couple of months, it'll be time to get those collards going. That's what I'm looking for. I'm good, thank you all. I love it when you all communicate with each other too. Feels like a big family. I love it, I love it, I love it. Okay, so we got move on. Ha ha, to the J. Okay, that was the I in the news. Now the J, the joke of the day. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all two today. We got two jokes today. Um, okay, so I went to the doctor recently, and I told her that I had broken my arm in two places. And she said, "What?" I said, "I broke my arm in two places." And she said, "Okay, well, I suggest you don't go to those places anymore." I thought that was cute. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you. I love you, Michelle. Thank you for being here. Okay, and the second one, I'm going to wait a little while to give you the second one because when I heard that one, I almost fell off the bed. I did. So we're going to move on to the letter K, which is our knowledge nuggets. And for those of you who don't know what the knowledge nuggets are, I encourage everybody to read the description box before you come into the live. And that part I'll probably have to change now because I'm not able to go in after and remove it, which is what the original plan was. So what we're going to do is leave those in there. You'll see a section that says gym. It'll only show up one day a week, and it's not always on the same day. If you choose to participate, there is a question behind the word gym. You will answer the question. You answer the question by emailing me. My email address is at the bottom of the description box. It is also in the how to play category as well. So you have two places 3 places actually that you can find my email address. You email me. At the end of the question, there is a keyword. When you email me, in the subject box, you will type the keyword as it is in that day's gem. Sometimes it will be purposely misspelled. So type it in as it is under that gem. Answer the question to the best of your ability. If your question is answered correctly, excuse me, I'm sorry. If your question is answered correctly, you will get 2 entries into the participation pot. If you attempt to answer the question and you have followed all the other steps properly, that is how you get your first entry. My goal was, just hear me out. My goal was to have 25 questions to you all by the end of the year. This is going on from the beginning of August to the end of December. And the drawing will be held on the 2nd of January for the winner. However, no attempts to answer any of the questions. So I'm going to let this month play out. And if we don't get any participation, we're just going to take that off the board for right now. We'll probably try that again at a later date. But we're not going to forget about it. We're just going to push it aside for right now. Okay. Another thing, when we go on to the letter L, what I have for the letter L is love it, leave it, or lose it. Love it, leave it, or lose it. And I wrote this out, so I'm going to be doing a little bit of reading. As the list of ideas grow for 2027, or whatever time span you have, I'm aware of the fact that all the projects are not only not for everyone, but trying to complete them all places undue stress on me and sometimes some of you, and that's not healthy. So, as of right now, I'll continue to jot the ideas down. Then the week before the next month comes in, I'll randomly pick 5 from the list and let the group decide the project that we'll work on for that month. This is going into 2027. If they're very small, I'll try to do several in that month. We'll explore new stitches, new combos, and crafty idea elements and crafty design elements together while building our gift or donation stock or our craft fair stock, whichever, but I want you to, I want you to know that I have a list, and this is only what I remember to write down. All of this is going into 2027. There are some things that were on my list for this year, and I had to go back and reassess it. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes, but I had to go back and reassess it and ask myself, is that wise for right now? So I'm already in the habit of writing down everything that I think that I want to do. And I did that, and a couple of things here I've pulled from earlier, and there are some things that are going to go up here that were on the list for this year. So, in keeping that in mind, and before we go any further, we're coming up on another emoji. I got to have my emoji time. And what I would like for you to do is either type the word boat or put me a boat emoji in the comments, if you will, please. Okay. With that in mind, I'm going to kind of skip ahead to the letter Q. And that reason is what I've chosen to do as far as working on things from this point forward is asking myself 4 questions. Why am I doing it? Is it because I saw someone else do it, or I saw a need for something? And I'll tell you why I asked that question. Um, I'm what you call an extroverted introvert. I love being around people, but I love being in my little bubble around people. I'm not generally the one who goes over and approaches. Don't get me wrong, the girl can get a party started, but it's not going over. I'll get on the stage and open up with whatever, a joke, a poem, a song, get somebody to drop some music. I'm just not going to start a conversation with a lot of people that I don't really know. I'll sit over where I am and I'm very open. You're welcome to come sit with me. You're welcome to come talk to me. I'm a hug person. I love giving hugs. I love receiving hugs. And I go right back to my little corner. But if someone were to come into that group and say, we're expecting a baby, instantly being a designer and a creator, I want to make a baby blanket for somebody I don't even know. I'm instantly thinking, okay, I've done this one, I've done that one. I bet this would look really, really cute. So you have to stop and ask yourself, why are you taking on this project? Yeah, are you taking a, what you know, things, and they just completely ignore that. Um, so then you ask yourself, for whom? So after you've established why you're doing it, who are you doing it for? Are you doing it to donate it? Are you doing it because there's a need? Are you doing it because someone asked for it? You know, who are you doing it for? When does it have to be completed? If someone came to you right now and asked you if they could have a queen size blanket by the end of the month, most of us that's impossible. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Um, First of all, we have life going on. We're not going to stop and just sit here and crochet. And a lot of people don't look at that realistically. They don't look at the fact that you don't sit down, think of this, and just spit this project out. It takes time. It takes physical time. It takes mental time. It takes both of those in energy. And like I said, life goes on. A lot of us are parents, grandparents, spouses, or significant others. So we have life going on. We're not going to ignore our family or our our community, our clutches, our groups. We have other commitments as well. And we can't overextend ourselves like that. So instead of just jumping right in saying, "Oh, I want to make this queen size blanket," she's expecting quadruplets. That would be perfect for all four of those babies. And I don't even know her name. You know, I don't even know what she's doing. And then on top of that, if you pass all of those questions, exactly what are you making? Okay, a queen size blanket, what color? Do you have the colors at home? Which, if you don't, typically means you have to go shopping for the colors, either physically or online. And are you prepared for that? Is it a gift? Is it going to be donated? Is it commissioned? All of these you need to ask yourself before you embark on something. I Last year and the beginning of this year, I got caught up in the whirlwind of wanting to do everything. And I found myself reeling so many times. And I had to stop. And at one point, Did you hear the neighbor that? No, I have not seen them. When I do, y'all are gonna be the first to know. You know you're gonna be the first to know, sis. But I'm not seeing them. I think they're more reclusive than I am. But see, now I forgot what I was saying. There have been times that Joan has had to reel me back in because I wanted to do everything. This person had this challenge. Oh, that was great. This person had this challenge. Oh, I know I can do that. And each one I could do. But if I'm doing the challenge for a person with person A, the challenge with persons B, C, and D, and then I get into this contest with F and G, and then I have my own things going on. You see what I just did? I moved me all the way down to the end because I wanted to keep up with everybody else. I matter. I know. And you know what, BB? For me, it's possible. I'm capable of doing that. I am. But just like my moderator tells me all the time, just what she just typed, slow and steady wins the race. But along with that, I have to make good choices about what I'm doing. If it's something that I really, really, really like, if it's something that really has to be done right now, and like I said, why am I making it? Is this for me? Is it for someone? And to show you all, or to tell you all about, how I can make a blanket in a month. If you remember last month, I think it was like the 5th, I started that big oversized corner to corner blanket, queen size. By the end of the month, it was done. I just smiled when I told him. She said hello. He's a little silly. He didn't get the floor. I'm sorry, Hunter. How are you? I'm so glad you're here. I love all of you. I really, really do. But like I said, why am I making it? My daughter's blanket. That started when I was making an oversize. I was talking about getting in on the corner to corner blanket. And the reason I joined that challenge with Miss Tina is because I commissioned myself to make blankets for the Stitcherhood donation blankets. I'm glad. But and I wanted to do a different blanket. I have the granny square. I did one that I designed myself. And I was like, okay, this would be great. She wanted to do what piqued my interest was the 10,000 yards, and one just put out a blanket that took a little over 5,000 yards of yarn. And I'm like, 5,000 was a lot. 10,000, that is quite a lot. And I pulled my yarns out and I got all my browns together and they look so good together. And while I'm doing all of this in my head, I'm talking about the fact that this blanket would just wrap you up. And my daughter says to me, I wish I had one of those, one that I could just get completely lost in. I could wrap it all around me. Hence her blanket started. I knew why I was making that particular blanket at that time. And I knew that I was making it for my daughter, and I knew that I wanted to have it completed by the end of the month because the challenge for the 10,000 yards started at the beginning of August. And if I'm not mistaken, it goes on to the end of the year. I know that I don't have all of that time to invest into 10,000 yards. So I wanted to get one of them done by the end of the month, and I could take the rest of the year to coast with the last one or the second one because I'm doing two to cover the 10,000 yards. One, of course, being this one that I showed you earlier, which is the browns leading into the tans. And the one that I do after this one is going to be purple, my color. Marsha, how are you? So again, ask yourself why and for whom. When is it due by? And what is it? What is it that you're working on? Is it something that you're comfortable working on? Is it something that you're going to start and next week decide you don't want to do this anymore? And that happens to me a lot. I get startitis and I'll look at something. I got two that I started just day before yesterday, and I'm asking myself for what? Why? Why? I don't know. And they're going to be taken loose. I'm glad I got no further than that on them. Something else I want to share with you. I know you all saw me wearing my dress the other day. Yes, you do see a string coming from the dress because the dress is being frogged. The dress is being frogged. And I'm not mad about it. I am not mad about it at all. My therapist got really, really upset when I told her it was being frogged. And she's like, but you spend a lot of time making that dress. I said, you said the magic words. I made this dress so I can remake this dress the way that I want it to fit on me. When I first made it, it did fit on me the way I wanted it to fit on me, but it no longer fits that way. It doesn't. So I'm going to uncinch the waist. I'm taking it completely loose. I don't like the colors that I started with at the top. It's too much going on up here for me. And I'm going to stick with the mandala gnome. And I'm going to make me a whole dress out of it with no cinched waist. Yeah, yeah. And then frog it. Now I'm finally feeling what I wanted to do. Yes, yes. So before you embark on projects, and trust me, if it's something I think that we can do together so that we have, that bonding together, and sometimes that is a reason to do something because you want to share in the experience with other creators. And that's fine. That is fine. For some people, that's not okay. All of our reasons, all of our rationale is going to be different because why? We're individuals. So keep that in mind. It doesn't make you a bad person if you don't want to do um, the same thing as everyone else. I can tell you this: the idea that I have for what I'm going to write the next pattern for, I think you all are going to like that. I think you're going to like that. I will actually share some of this list with you for next year. Before I do that, I want to tell you, I want to go back and kind of stick with the organizing. I'm not going to harp on the journal, even though that should be done daily, very briefly, but that's all I got to say about that. But the organization, sometimes you can organize it. It'll look just like you had it in your mind, but it's not conducive for what you need. And then you'll have to go back and redo it. I had 8 blankets to which I started back in October. I finally finished two of them. Two of the blankets are already late, and the other ones keep changing. I keep changing. Well, I mean, I feel you, Vivian. When I was working at the hotel, I had blanket orders coming in back to back. A lot of the guests were repeat guests, and they knew. Did you say you changed something on the pattern? I did. I sent out another email, and it's for rounds 7 through 10. A very minor change. Very minor. As a matter of fact, one stitch. I left out one stitch. The yarn has to talk to me. I'm not loving it, then I'll frog it. Making them do it right now. Started using different colors. And I frog it. Started using the frog colors. Okay. Okay, but sometimes with that we're not going to have that luxury, especially if it's for someone else. And even that, if you are asked to make something and you really don't want to do it, I want everybody to stop what you're doing for about 5 seconds, and I want you to say this word out loud. Don't scream it. Don't scream it. Just say it out loud so that you can hear it. No. No. For some of you that felt really good. I can feel that over here. We are free to use that word. We are. It took me years to learn that. Exactly, Khadija. Yeah, it's something that a lot of us have a hard time doing. And I know me, I'm not necessarily a people pleaser, but I like to see everybody happy. But I realized in seeing that everybody else be happy, I wasn't. And you get to a point in your life where you get tired of being frustrated. Yeah, you get tired of being frustrated. You get tired of people being indecisive. And that's another thing. Um, I had to pull back from making things for extended family. I did. I have a blanket and two pillow shams in my closet right now that belong to a cousin. And I was very fair. I I require a 25% deposit. Y'all, I had to make a pretty extensive order from Joann's. I mean, I got like two big boxes of a color that they generally don't carry in the store. And I got 10. I got 10 Karen 1 pound in one color. She made the first installment. And what was bad about that is I broke it down for her. I wrote everything down, let her know how much everything cost, how much the labor was, how much the yarn was. Gave her the projected date it would be done. Gave her a 20% discount for family and a 20% discount for being a first time purchaser. She made the first payment. Was she at February Union this year? Yep. Were her blanket and shams at the family reunion this year? Nope. Nope. You, that word no, no. And what I was able to tell her is I don't know her situation. I don't know what she's going through. And if it's something, really bad, then I'm sorry. But and normally if she had called and talked to me and said, Cuz, look, this is the situation right now. I can't do this. I can't do that, but I really do want it. I'd have probably said, well, you know what? She almost covered the cost of the yarn. I'll bite this one. I probably would have done that. But after 3 years, you haven't said anything to me. I've held on to it for this long. So I politely let her know that she has until December 31st. And if we don't have the payment in, the yarn will be repurposed. So I hope she liked the picture of the finished project because it's not going to be a project anymore. Not that anyway. I can use that robin egg glue in something else. I really can. Y'all, she had all kinds of words all over it and everything. Blessed and highly favored, um, cats, and all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. And it took a lot of time. Yeah. So, okay. Before I get too into it, I have to tell you the second joke, and then I'll read the list to you. So, can anyone tell me what Michael Jackson likes to do on vacation? What does Michael Jackson like to do on vacation? Y'all want to know? He likes to ski. Ow! Oh, okay, Kitty, you're no good. You're no good. You're no good. Kitty, you're no good. Okay, so what I have on the list, and it sounds like a long list, but once I read them off to you, you'll be like, it's not that bad. I have what's called the Big Dumb Seasonal Blanket. I love the title of it because I think after seeing how much joy our CEO got out of that blanket, I want a big dumb blanket now. I do, but I want to make a big dumb seasonal blanket. A lot of thought is going to go into this blanket. It's something that we can take the entire 2027 to do if you want to do it. What you're going to do is for each season, you're going to pick 3 to 5 colors. First of all, you're going to pick your favorite color. Your favorite color is going to be your accent and border color. And we're going to make 4 rather large panels for each season. They're going to be different stitches. So we're definitely going to be relying on measurements. And then we're going to border those so that we'll be able to put them together better. And then we're going to border the entire piece. So all of us will have this big dumb seasonal blanket. It's loosely under the same concept as the temperature blanket, but it's so different in that you get to choose the colors for the seasons. You get to determine, we will determine together how the stitches are going to go. Like for me, for instance, for winter, I like blues and purples and whites and grays. Um, that to me just screams winter. And then I like something like the basket weave stitch, which or the waffle stitch, or something in that nature that's textured and comfortable and covered, and where you can just be all cozy with it. And then in the spring, not really a spring girl, but the colors that I see are the pink, the green, the blue, the lavender. uh, I see those colors like the Easter egg basket green, which is borderline chartreuse, and little hints of brown, like speckled egg brown. I see bold colors for spring. A lot of people see the soft pastels. I see bold colors. That's why it has to be personalized. And yeah, see, BB likes pastel colors. I like bold colors. And then I could see that being like the the granny square corner to corner, or my interpretation of the granny square corner to corner is different than what other people do. But of course, I will show you how to do it. It's not hard, and it actually goes a lot faster. Both of y'all, stop, cut it out. Excuse me. For fall, I see brown surrounded by orange, yellow, red, green. It's the colors that fall brings. Oh my goodness. They are so they are so pretty. Y'all, they're getting on me. Okay, okay, okay. So yes, there is another project that I'm working on, but I'm not going to put my focus into it until October. I have put it aside because I want to spend October working on my Dallas Cowboy house robe. I have not abandoned the project. I can, however, tell you this. I got within 10 rows of finishing a blanket. When I tell y'all, I only have, I think it's like 8 to 10 rows left on this huge blanket, and I'm about to frog the entire thing. I am. I am. Because I'm terribly disappointed by the entire situation. It was going to be gifted, but some things have happened that I'm just not I'm not happy with how they turned out. When you support somebody and openly support somebody to the point that you put yourself in jeopardy sometimes, and they tell you if you want a certain thing done, just reach out and they'll see that it happens. You find that you've waited 2 years and they travel to you to do this, and they have come as close as 30 minutes away. And I don't think it was the individual themselves. I think it was their team. Because me and a certain member of their team had some words. Because at first, I wanted a PTO. The blanket that I made was for um, one of the members of the Ghost Brothers, Dalen, and his wife and daughter, and their dogs, Taco and Tito. And one of the members of the team who sets everything up for Dalen, Chaz, when I told her my story and why I wanted a PTO, she told me I could only contact one or attempt to see if we could hear from one person. So then when I started looking at other PTOs and people are sitting here and they're addressing like 7, 8, 9 family members, or they got a whole um, they call them condominiums, mausoleum, full of their whole daddy side of the family. And, they talking to everybody. And you shut me down when all I said is, I still have answers that I didn't get from my mama. And I'd like to know if she was around my grandparents and my son. I didn't say I wanted the whole conversation with them. So when that happened, and I realized even after that, um, he had been as close as Norfolk. And no phone call, no reaching out, no nothing. I was like, okay, all right. Yeah. So the whole blanket is coming loose. So I'll have some more browns and some greens and some purples and all of that good stuff. Because my feelings got hurt. I'm not in my feelings. I've been wanting to do a temperature blanket represents an anniversary. Uh, and that's doable. If you need help, Vivian, I'd be more than happy to help you. I've made a few. I have one in the box right now that's completed. That's for my nephew. I just gotta send it to him. I'm trying to get him to come down here from New York to Virginia. All these people that hop, he goes right past Virginia to go to Georgia to go home. And yes, BB, I'm talking about Corey. So he could stop and see Auntie. They all know Auntie does not have a car right now. So okay, read this list and I'm gonna let y'all go. The Big Dumb Seasonal Blanket, 10 skeins in a month. That sounds like a lot. Um, the first thing a lot of people think about is like, Karen, £1, are you kidding me? I could do 10 of those in a month. I know everybody can. They do have smaller skeins. They do. You can even get the balls from Dollar Tree, the $1.25 balls, and just commit to going through 10 of those in a month and see if you wanted to do 10 small projects. If you wanted to do 10 phone holders or I mean anything, little divot bags or whatever, you could do that. And then the next one is called Kitten's Choice. That's going to be fun. I'll explain that later. And then we have the Geometric Salute. I showed that one to you and I just saw that as a flag. So that's how that came to be. And believe it or not, I have about 4 or 5 more of those. And then we have the cappuccino blanket. I've talked about that for a while. I still want to do it. The monthly color palette. Still have that one on the list. I reduced my beach blanket size down. I mean, my beach blanket amount from 5 to 3. I still have beach bags. I want to show you all how to do a V-neck poncho, a mother's love poncho, bathroom decorative basket, and one thing I briefly told you all about before was a picnic set. It would be the tablecloth or blanket, real lightweight, all made in cotton. The utensil holders, blue napkins, and cup cozies. And all of it would fold up together to go into its own case that you would make as well. You probably spend a couple of months making that because it's a lot of different parts. And I like to try to do as many things as possible so that you don't have to do a lot of sewing. I can sew, but I don't like it. To be honest with you, I don't like it. I can sew by hand, I can sew by machine. I have made things for myself by machine, and I've done a pretty decent job, but it's just not my thing, So those are some of the things that I'm looking for 2027, or they're on the list. For me, they're things that I want to accomplish, period. It doesn't have to be confined to 2027. So, even with this, if this list doesn't get done in 2027, it's 2028, 2029, 2030. I'm just saying, I plan on being here for 52 more years? I told my daughter I would be here until I was 114. So that's 52 more years. I got a lot of crocheting time left. Guys, it is well after 1 o'clock. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. And I cannot say enough how much I love you and the fact that I really want you to focus on loving yourself. It's not hard to say no. It's not hard to put yourself first. It doesn't make you conceited. There is a difference between being self-sufficient, confident, and being conceited and arrogant. Okay? Keep that in mind. As long as you have humility about you, it won't be hard to see the difference. But please remember that self-love is the greatest love of all. And you can't love others the way they deserve to be loved unless you first love yourself the way you deserve to be loved. And you deserve the best. Remember, Kitty Lane told you. Remember, Kitty Lane loves you. So until we see each other again here on these YouTube streets, peace out, everybody.